What's up, guys? Today, chilling with Marqueeda.
What it do? What we doing?
NERDSoul.
Lay LK at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing the StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, we are here with Rare Air. We're breaking down things that we normally don't get a chance to talk about. And I'm here with Marqueeda LaStar. Before we get started, where can the wonderful people find you?
I'm available. You can find me anywhere on the interwebs at LaStar.next. And that's what it is. Check out that sparkle pony.
Cool. So, this is a show where we talk about what we rarely ever get to, mention. And I have no idea what she's about to say. Today, what are we talking about?
Oh, man, I'm so tempted to do something wrong. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be strong today.
Oh, you're going to be strong?
I'm going to be strong. And not say something totally inappropriate that I wasn't supposed to say. Because we discussed this. But I'm not always an adult. So, okay, so we're adulting today. So one thing I like to talk at length about that I don't feel that anybody cares about, like when it's on an interviewing scale, because usually I'm talking about something completely different, with pop culture and everything.
Yeah.
My cause that I wave my flag for is kind of like my solution to like net neutrality and internet alternatives.
Okay.
It's a big thing for me.
All right.
And I feel it is very important to the culture.
Yeah.
But it's
because without net neutrality, we don't have a lot of stuff.
Exactly. And
there's a lot that we won't have.
Exactly. And it's the internet as it is today has been such a it has lowered barriers to entry.
Yeah.
It's leveling the playing field. It's put the gatekeepers on notice.
Yeah.
And they've really
in a large way.
In a large way. It's really like changed entertainment, how we interact with each other, how we create. Mm-hmm. And so I always see a lot of flailing hands, or just a lot of people who are like, I want to be a creative, whatever kind of creative you want to be. I want to be in this pop culture thing. I want to get into this geek culture thing.
Or I want to make movies, cartoons, or
whatever. Graphic novels, whatever it is that you want to do. Even if you're more traditional, you just want to write a regular novel, and stuff like that. Any kind of literature, self-help book, whatever it be. Your life is going to be 10 times easier now to break in, especially for
or at least have the ability to
get noticed, because there was in some ways we're going to reverse. So you set up the landscape of, you go back 20 years, especially 20 years, you go into the 20, 30 years where you're in the 80s, where you only have so many channels you can get on.
True.
And then there's 3 channels. And then all of a sudden you hit cable. Cable gives you,
Cable kind of opened it up a little bit.
100. And then, but all too quickly, it falls into a lot of the gatekeeping that the first 3
Yeah, because the first 3, was ABC, NBC, CBS,
right.
And then later on Fox. Yeah. They kind of already owned
they owned everything and stuff like that. So you have very few people, very few doors to begin with, period.
True.
And only certain people were getting through those doors for the most part.
Yeah.
And if you were a person of color or a woman, you had to be like a special person, unicorn type individual. I mean, I pride myself.
Or just right time, right place.
Right place.
Instead of
right
just being good.
And just, so a lot of times, the industry is like, what's going on? Why is our numbers completely, it's like, well, you're rehashing the same stories, re-ideas. Reboots are getting kind of old because you do the reboot of the reboot. And we ain't all here for that.
And it's not good.
It's not good because you're not focused on good. It's more like you put your bro on, but is your bro good? Is your sister girl good? I mean, this is something I do say that when I first started getting interested in writing comics and doing comic journalism and stuff like that, I would go to events, I'd go to panels, and I would hear Black creatives talk about how it's not enough, that you know the homie, that we definitely want inclusion and diversity, but we also want to change that conversation to, it's just not the homie's work, it's good work.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Good point.
Tell your homie to level up so you can put them on,
Yeah.
and it's hard. A lot of us ain't doing that.
It's tough.
and you sit there and you applaud them, Hercules.
Yo, I'm going to go in and say straight up, I've been in the position where I was face to face with someone who I didn't think his stuff was that dope, but I didn't want, because we were at a convention and there were other people around, and I didn't want to hurt other people's perception of his work if they were feeling it. Like, say we're at his table, if they were feeling his work, I didn't want them to hear me say, well, I think it's bad. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of because you don't want
and place
to
for everything.
Yeah, because
it's
if it's not my flavor, it might be theirs, and I don't want to.
And that's a very important point you come up where you not liking something does not mean it's not good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you definitely have to you gotta definitely put the difference. Like be self-aware that this might be good. It might just not be for me.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine too.
Yeah.
I was like, but it takes a lot of maturity to do that because it seems like a lot of people be struggling with that concept of, I didn't like it, it was trash. No, you just didn't like it.
It's trash. And now there's some stuff that's just straight trash.
It's just trash. So that's the thing. We're having this like nuanced conversation.
Yeah, where it's like, do you not like it? Is this more your feelings or is this more a quality thing?
And you should be able to say why where you think something is trash.
Yeah.
You ain't got to defend whether you like something or not. That's your particular taste.
Yeah.
But if you're saying something is bad and that is why you do not like it, then you should have things. You should be able to point out the writing.
Yeah, you should be able to kind of
maybe the story isn't the best, maybe the acting isn't the best, maybe the drawings aren't that interesting, and stuff like that. And there's ways you almost should have suggestions on how you would improve it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you gotta go out and like you have to be like, I don't have to be a artist. I mean, it does help because I do think
True.
Music and things like that, sometimes they have a totally different take on why they like something or dislike something.
Yeah.
And sometimes it matters to me. It's like critics when they do films. Like, let's do film. Like, there are plenty of films that have gotten trashed on by critics that have went on to be blockbusters.
Yes.
Because we looking at it like, nah, it's not that serious.
Yeah, because there's something, when it comes to like critics and stuff, there's a big part that comes into like, well, what's the replay value?
Right, exactly.
Like people might say Shawshank Redemption is a masterful film, blah blah blah, and it's like, but I don't want to watch that.
I gotta be honest though, I watched that movie a few times.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't watch
it like
that
anytime it comes on television.
I can't watch that movie as much as I watch like Bad Boys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
everybody's got a different movie.
Yeah, it's like Bad Boys, Terminator 2, Alien, stuff like that. I can watch that numerous times. I can't watch some biopic on someone who's trying to make me cry. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's
I
like
think I've
I'm
seen
not.
Schindler's List.
Like,
Like,
I can
all
look at
of 2.5 times.
Yeah, like Schindler's List. I can look at it and be like, oh
okay.
man, this is
this
really
blew
touching.
Me away, but
this
I
is
was
touching
like,
and
I'll
it's really
probably
moving.
never watch it again.
Yeah.
There's a few movies that hit my like, okay, this is a great movie.
But I ain't going nowhere else.
But I ain't never seen it again. This is it. Like I had a movie like that not too long ago. I can't even remember it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is I'm glad I watched it. I learned something today.
I'm glad I watched it.
I'm real touched and all that. But yeah, that's it. This is
no more.
I can't do this one again. Like I definitely seen movies like that, and it makes it hard to even recommend them. Like you gonna learn today when you watch that movie. But it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for you.
Yeah, exactly. But that's. But like all these conversations, I feel like we get to have. Like we literally get to have this conversation here and now because of the interwebs.
Yeah. And
I've been a big fan girl of the interwebs. Before it was, I'm gonna go there on my hipster stuff. Before it was not cool. I was definitely that person who was spending way too much time on the internet. Trying to get on the AOL free disc, and what was that? 50 hours for free.
Shouts out to the original AIM chat members.
Yeah, the AIM chat. Yeah,
AIM chat was fire.
Exactly.
BET.com had a fire chat. It
was
adult at times, but they had a fire chat.
I feel like all the chats I was in was mad adult.
Shouts out to Black Planet back in the day.
Wow.
Black Planet was
My sister was on that one.
Like, I remember being real young, being like, it's some nasty stuff going on in the site. But in a good, nasty way.
In a good, nasty way. It was very consensual.
Yeah.
Wasn't entirely sure if it was safe or not, but it was at least consensual and mutual.
And that was like real new internet. Like the internet
it's
is
raw.
technically kind of young now because the internet is consumer internet is like what, like 25, something like that.
I mean, consumer
internet was like
really
96, 7,
yeah,
something like
96, 7,
something like that.
Where you really started to be able to do a lot with the internet, like because you have. I remember MS DOS and using MS-DOS and commands and stuff like that. That's how my geek goes. That's what got me interested in doing programming and stuff like that because it helped. It helped understand like, okay, how do I make
what's
this,
going on?
this
what is
box
this?
work? I mean, I remember computer before Microsoft Windows really took a hold. Like it existed, but it didn't come on every computer like it does now.
Yeah, it definitely.
Yeah, so you would get a computer and have an MS-DOS. You have to know the commands.
Yeah, you have to know. You have to actually tell the computer to do things.
Do stuff.
Instead of just click.
And just clicking. Yeah. So yeah, but I am super excited. So that's actually, I'm so pumped about it. I've been doing all this research because it's like I want to get invested. I want to be a part of the solution. I think the solution is not legislation. It's us getting out there and creating and not being beholden to the few people who've already done it. I often tell people, because
we do have this situation where they're like, well, we're just going to break these laws.
Right.
And you ain't got nothing to do with it.
Exactly. And where we need to continue that spirit of America is usually at the front of the line of making new dope stuff to fix this problem or solve that problem, because we do have all these different people here and all these perspectives, but we are no longer utilizing that. We forget, and this is something that I think bleeds into every aspect of our society, where we again just leave it to other people to do and then wonder why it's not going well for us.
Yeah.
And stuff. And I was like, the internet has become so important and so many people have begun to leave it. I remember playing around with the internet, wanting to know how it works, getting into, programming. I 20 years after the fact, but I did eventually see Hackers, the movie. I was like, hack the planet.
Shouts out to Hackers, man.
That changed my life.
Like all those movies, and that's right at the beginning, Hackers, The Net, all those movies came out where it was
Net, Clockers.
Yeah.
I would even argue, what's that Keanu Reeves movie, Johnny
Mnemonic.
Yeah, exactly. All those type of movies had me going. Even movies that were a little off to the side, where I felt like how a virtual world would work, and this is going to be a really creepy sidestep, but The Cell. Now I get that because The Cell was this advanced technology. It works a lot like the net did and stuff like that. When you think about how everything's supposed to go. What was that movie? This will totally connect this into each other. I think it's called Brain Scan or something like that. With old boy.
Brain Scan was
Eddie Furlong.
Edward Furlong.
Edward Furlong. Which. Okay, so
that was a weird movie.
It was a weird movie.
But it's kind of one you gotta see. I can't even explain it.
You really, if you have not seen this movie and you are into VR, augmented reality, all that kind of stuff, check out that movie.
Yeah, because that came out that Lawnmower Man, all those kind of weird.
Yep.
Because it's you had these sci-fi people that were the internet is coming in a way, and honestly, that's why you got the neutrality thing where it's to have, weirdly enough, the brain scan stuff. You do need to have a free and open internet to a certain degree,
right? To make all that stuff happen.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you don't want just straight up dark web stuff going on.
Right, exactly.
But the internet should be free and fair, because then you get that leveling of the player. Right. It's not level. Don't let any of these elite cats tell you that, the internet's here.
Now.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, never believe that. Never believe that.
But it does give you an opportunity to be seen.
Right.
Which is something that we never had before.
Right.
We do get an opportunity to share our voice, our perspective.
Right.
But
just as we're doing right now. So people don't understand what is truly lost. A tool. If you want to change the world, even there's so many initiatives and people who because people sleep on internet. What hashtag activism. I was like, hashtag activism actually brings a lot of attention to what you need to then mobilize people to meet up in the streets, to donate to a cause they're about, to even find out causes happening, because mainstream media, including like, you know, any kind of media you consume, isn't covering that event, you know. They're often, I see this all the time, people are very slow on the pickup of an event that's happening, and you will see that trend on Twitter days before you see anything written about it in
Twitter
a paper.
Twitter moves very fast,
or it's being covered even on digital outlets and stuff like that. I was totally going to throw a rock, not to get off track, into the bushes to make the bugs stop, because the bugs got pretty intense for a minute. I was like, just need, and then you see they walk by,
and now the
they go back. Exactly. So I was like,
don't mind the bugs.
Yeah, don't mind the bugs. So they quiet now when they think there's nobody around.
See that?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, next time we need a pile of rocks, and then we can just do this. Be quiet. But anyway. But yeah, and so I was like, there's something there, and I think some people were like, maybe because they're upset, because there's good and bad things about the internet. Internet is like a tool.
It's like, it depends on what you do with it.
It's like getting a great power. And it's like, with great power comes great responsibility. And,
now, everybody ain't responsible.
Everybody's not responsible. We know this from the comic books. We know this from our reality. There's nothing we don't consume or live through that says, like, if you give two people the same power, the same thing, they're going to go and do vastly two different things with it 9 times out of 10. They're like, even if they start doing the same thing, because it's like Xavier and Magneto. They was on the same side. And then Magneto's like, you know what, this is not working for me.
He like, nah, he like, look. Because, you know, people, especially the government, started going, they were habitual line steppers.
Exactly, habitual line steppers. And I was like, I don't know if I would go as far as Magneto, but I feel Magneto. I feel like I'm leaning hard towards Magneto over Charles about now.
Charles is cool as long as the government is cool.
Right.
But most of the time, the government's not cool.
Right. It's like, if they're doing what they say to do, if they're ready to sit down, because in Charles's approach, you need both people, or both parties, or everybody who's involved in a situation to be willing to sit down at the table. He's like, I'm more than willing to sit at the table and make it happen for you guys. Well, what do we need to do? And that's how that works. But that's not what's working in the Charleses of the world. They fail to realize, like, oh, this isn't working anymore. They're not willing to sit down with us.
All right, well, I'll jump, since we're on activism for a second. Online, the beautiful thing about having the internet and being free and fair is that you can be an activist online. Try that stuff in China. I'm gonna just be honest. Try that stuff there. Try to say something against the government.
You can go here. People are getting arrested.
But at least you have the ability to tweet something without it being immediately deleted.
The internet is controlled. Is on lockdown.
Is in super lockdown mode.
They give you like the hyper bad scenario of what the internet could be here. If we do not step up, you know, ourselves to say, no, we're not going to take this. We're going to go, and again, you can't legislate this. You have to go out and make competitors for these big companies. And they're like, oh, that's so hard. And it is really hard.
Because the companies are like, oh, you can take away net neutrality. We'll play nice.
Nobody believes them. Nobody believes it. Because they be like on Twitter with that noise. And they're like,
you're not going to play nice.
And people be dragging them online like, yeah, y'all need to stop lying. Y'all ain't going to do none of that.
This is what I think. I think if net neutrality, like if they got rid of it and it didn't, like there were no more lawsuits, there was no more pushback from senators, blah, 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 and it was completely gone dead. I think what would happen is the companies would play nice for 6 months to a year to slide you into what they about to do.
Well, that's what they do with everything, unfortunately.
They be cool for, you'd be like, oh, see, nothing's happening.
But
then all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, there's an extra charge for this. Well, it's not too bad.
And that's
then 5 years later, you're like, yo, why am I paying for each and every website that I have?
Every website. So I was like, I'm just getting
started. But what I have to say about people that are like hashtag activism or armchair activists is everybody can't get out and march. But for those that feel that they can't, whether they're disabled, whether they have a job, whether they don't want to be in that situation that might get them arrested because they have, kids or family or whatever, they can still at least get the word out or the message out, or drop some coin in the bucket.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because they might be like, you know what, I can't get out there because I don't want to be seen doing this because I might work in a super racist place. But I can throw $10, $20 in there and do the best, that I can. So there are people that pay lip service. There are.
There are.
But there are definitely people that pay lip service.
And
but I do think that
to back it up. You'd be like, all right.
Be like,
good
man,
speech.
all you did is retweet this. Come on now.
Right.
But,
he's like, I'm out here. I'm making a difference.
I'm
retweet.
making a difference. Retweet. I retweeted. I wrote a poem.
You can't even come up with an original tweet. It's just like retweet.
Oh man, I retweeted it and I wrote a poem. It's like,
I liked it, didn't I?
But
so,
I do think
the
more that we share, the more that it's seen, hopefully it can touch, say out of 1,000 retweets, maybe 2 or 3 people are able to go out and march.
Right. And
you know what I'm saying? And maybe they can bring a friend.
And again, they might not have known about it. The
True.
people who can and are willing may not have known about it, and this really helps organize people, which is, I think, one of the reasons why they want to take it down.
Yeah.
Like, it helps you organize people. It helps you find your tribe, wherever they may be. I mean, I'm a millennial, and so I have both feet in both worlds. And I can tell you I can remember how hard it was to meet people, like-minded people who were like trying to get at the same things you were, who were into the same weird things that you were, and stuff like that. It was a struggle. So I was like, to sit here and act like the internet ain't important for whatever you're trying to do. I am of the same mind as a growing number of people, and increasingly becoming a louder voice that the internet is not a luxury, it's a utility.
Yeah, it's definitely a utility.
It needs to be
because
available
now
to
that it's a
everybody,
part of pretty much everything.
That's how you find stuff.
Once business grab hold of it, it's like, yo, you can't.
Yeah, so the idea that you would leave it up to private is pretty bad.
It's a bad idea.
Exactly.
It's definitely a bad idea.
And we don't really use antitrust laws that we have on the books anymore. Like last big breakup was like AT&T. But now you're having.
But now AT&T just bought Warner Brothers.
Right, exactly.
So
and so we're pretty much going back like this.
We're going back to like 90s level.
Exactly. Well, I would go
where anybody
back.
can buy anybody.
Anybody can buy anybody's 90s, but where we're going back is back to that like 80s, 70s, where you only got a few places to work. Yeah. You only got a few places to pitch. You've only got a few places to gain entrance or access to the internet. You've only got a few places and it's like choke holes on stuff.
Yeah, because you got...
bandwidth is an issue because you want to centralize everything. Yeah. If you did something, I mean, I'm still looking into how viable like mesh networking is. It really require a grassroots effort because mesh is the idea that you could, like, all devices have capability now to do Wi-Fi, so they can kind of talk and connect to one another. Yeah. And so you build them off of every device that has that ability.
Which is a good idea.
It's a good idea in theory and stuff, but you wouldn't need everybody actively participating. And right now we're having a problem with people participating in large numbers. Yes. In anything, like getting everybody on, and you're like, well, I might not want so and so to connect to my device and stuff like that. Yeah. And the thing about it, if you decentralize the technology, bandwidth wouldn't be an issue anymore. Because it doesn't have to. It gets stuck going through this one pipe. Even if you pay for more of it, it's still got to come from one place to your place. Yeah. And like anything with a pipe, when you think about a pipe. Because if you think about cable,
there's a source.
There's only so much it can handle over that particular, highway access point, and so it gets weighed down, and then your internet slows down. And so I was like, man, if we could find like something a little sturdier though, like maybe instead of laying cable, you could do like the beacons for the Wi-Fi signal, and then you take it out, and it's like, I was like, you don't want. It's a catch-22. Yeah. It's not a catch-22. It's like like moderation, because there's places where they don't have any kind of regulations on who can do cable for internet, phone, or whatever. And so they showed us. I think it was what country is that? Romania, and they don't have any regulations. So what they do is they have they show you like a post where you might see like one or two telephone lines here, and it's like wrapped around like lawn nerds because everybody's got their own thing. So you don't want anything. You don't want that.
You don't want that.
That's too much. That's going too far. But I said we can do moderation. We don't have to be at the extreme.
We can take
where
that
every
idea
in your block is like lined up with wires. But at the same time,
we can take that idea and make it run
somewhere in the middle
at a robust level.
Exactly. But we're at the point where everybody's merging.
Yeah.
So you're going to have like what 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, because there's because like you'll look and you're like, oh, there's like 80 cable providers. Well, there's really like 4.
Right. They're all owned by like 3 or 4
like
big companies.
Parent company.
And they're always merging into one another.
Yeah.
So there's fewer and fewer places to get your access from, which you absolutely need. Even companies like Google and Facebook, because they are not internet service providers, they're sweating. They're like, oh no, this net neutrality is a bad thing. You got Facebook shook, and nobody gets Facebook.
Yeah, because I'm keeping my eye on Google Fi, because I'm like, what are you going to do with that? Or is it a project? Is it another one of those projects that Google is like, we thought it was cool, and we're not going to support it?
It is cool. Don't get me wrong, but you got really tricky laws.
True.
So what happens when you allow any group to consolidate power over anything? What do? They lobby to change laws into their favors. So there's laws in the books that restrict cities from providing internet and Wi-Fi service to their constituents, the residents, and stuff like that. Because we've kind of
the
fell
cable
asleep at the
companies
wheel.
are trying to protect their vested interests.
They slide that law on in there, and you don't even realize it's on the books. Same thing with Google Optics. What is it called?
Google Fi.
Google Fi. They have to get permission from their competitors to lay down a lot of that wire.
Wow.
A lot of places for you to lay down wire. Not only do you have to get cleared by the local government that you're applying it, but a lot of times you got to come in to Comcast like, oh, is this okay? Can I put this here? And they're like, nah. Like, why would they say yes? Like, even if there's room for you to lay your cable, they're like, no, this is my area. That's why if you live in a certain area, you usually only have one option for cable.
Yeah, you usually only have one option. Two at the most.
And that's only because now, like, say, where I live in LA, I have 2 options for internet.
True.
One is cable, and the other is DSL. And ain't nobody mess with DSL.
Yo, ain't nobody rock with DSL since like 03.
Exactly. Like, DSL is not the future. We're able to split up your phone line so, your parents aren't knocking you off the internet every time they want to use the phone.
Yeah. It's like DSL. What is it? Dedicated service line.
Right.
It's like, it's still not.
And it's not nowhere.
It's not fast.
And
if it's faster.
You can't be a gamer. You can't do video. You can't. You can.
You might be able to do video.
But now that you are accustomed to high-speed internet as it is known today, you are going to be upset about some DSL.
Yeah, you might, man.
Yeah.
If I had DSL at my house, I'd be like, yo, when am I going to watch this video?
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't. I don't think.
Imagine Netflix on DSL.
Right, Netflix, YouTube, a lot of stuff would not even work today. And the fact is that we often like to share videos. We like to make videos on the fly.
True.
We have stories. Facebook is always copying, Snapchat. So, now we got Facebook stories, we got Insta stories.
Yeah.
I love.
And now we got Instagram TV or IGTV.
Exactly. None of that would exist without the high-speed internet that we all know and love. So my thing is, like, we got to come up with alternatives. I don't know if it's. I'm not sure mesh networking would be the solution, but I would.
But we need something.
Solutions. We definitely need to come up with ways, better ways, alternative ways to connect and keep the internet living on.
In its free fashion.
In a very free, open form, because that's working. I know it's gritty. You got trolls. You got the ugly side of the internet.
Yeah.
And you're always going to have that, unfortunately, because there's people who about that life, and that's how they live. Like,
they really have nothing. It just brings them joy.
Joy, yeah. Yeah, because I've watched and like listened to some trolls talk about trolling.
And they're just so happy. It's
exactly.
It's like a badge of honor to them.
Exactly. It brings them like mad joy to do. So you can't fight that. You can't fight somebody
when they're excited about it.
Just trolling.
Like trolls get excited for trolling the way you might get excited about your favorite song or your favorite movie or your favorite food or your favorite favorite event. Yeah, like when you're like
to make it happen.
When your grandma makes your favorite dish, you be like, oh man, I can't wait till she's done. That's how trolls feel about trolling. They're like, man, I can't wait till they tweet because I'm gonna say something mean. I don't know what it is.
We were just talking about like how some middle class folk, they get caught up in like street activity that they don't need to get caught up in because
it's like your life is kind of okay.
It's pretty sweet. I mean, build, grow, do it the right way. Nah, it ain't quick enough. Nah, it ain't cool enough.
Yeah, my mom and my dad, I don't want to live like that.
Exactly.
They ain't cool enough.
They ain't cool enough. They ain't living large enough.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you always have those people who are like, I want to get it faster. I want to get it easier. I want to cheat.
Yeah.
It's not even about sometimes the material things, though those are definitely appreciated. Sometimes I look at people and they're just like, I don't want to be a square.
True.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, because they see it as like less than because it's not, the money's not fast enough.
Everybody does it that way. It's like it's not even about the money. It's like they could be well to do and be like, it's not even about the money. It's like I just want to be.
Yeah, I don't see that's not rebellious enough, or that's not.
I want to rebel. I want to be special. I ain't gonna live my life like all this.
And that's another thing on the internet. Different for the sake of being different doesn't make you different. It just makes you corny.
Corny, and you doing like the most.
Yeah,
the littlest.
Because a new thing, even though this is off the net neutrality, a new thing I've noticed since we are getting some more black media, not enough, but we're getting more. We're getting more black media. I've noticed one of the cool things is to be black and not like black things, but in public. Like, oh, Black Panther was okay. It's not the best movie. It's all right. Or, Luke Cage was okay, but if Marvel on Netflix really isn't all that. Or, I saw Black Lightning. It's, whatever.
This is getting to our earlier conversation that we're having about like critiquing art and like again like not letting your homies off the hook if they're messing up, because my like I was thinking about it not too long ago. Like I'm a big nerd, so I just randomly be thinking about Luke Cage, but like, man, that was good when they did that, or that was crazy. and also the negatives, like I see absolutely no reason to bring the N-word or even the homie, version of it into the Marvel universe. Yeah. Like there's a lot of people saying it, and to be honest, in some of those instances that it was used, it was real talk. I understand that, but and you were trying to paint Luke as going darker, but I just thought there was another way to do that, because there's different shades of dark, and I feel like, I know we're talking about dark and light, and then we're talking about black people, so it's like it might be a little hard to follow, but the idea is like a person taking like this less optimistic,
more forceful approach,
pessimistic view on life.
Yeah,
like realizing, like it's like when you have your coming to God moment, you're like, all this shit need to burn. Sometimes it just needs to burn. We need to redo about it. Now you hit those lows where you're like, I'm not sure if it's worth it, and that's what Luke Cage was hitting. He was hitting this wall of, I'm trying to put all these fires, more fires start up. Yeah. What's the point?
People ain't respecting it.
Why am I doing it? Why am I here? Yeah, I'm not getting any kind of respect. But from the same people I'm not getting any respect, they want to come and like tell me to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm at my wit's end, and I do not think saying the N-word was the way to showcase that him being fed up, because that's out of character for him. I get it, but at the same time, there's people who talk the most articulate, the most elegant, and then they'll chop somebody in 50 million pieces on the low. Like, there's different ways to do this, fam. And I thought, by him, though, the decisions he was making and the rhetoric he was starting to give in, and some of the thought processes he was revealing was more telling than,
than using that word. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think Mariah, though, I could totally see her using that.
Yeah, Mariah.
I was like, it's nothing.
She out her mind.
There's no clutching your pearls when you like hear like a very grandma-like figure or like older auntie figure say some off the wall stuff. You like, ooh, it's about to get real. Ooh, it's dark. Like what? Like I remember the first time that happened to me. It was like a lady I met at church.
Wow.
And she like took a real liking to like me and stuff like that. She thought I was a nice young lady and stuff like all the reasons she even like wanted to like, oh, come over, let's have tea, let's talk, and stuff like that. You know how the aunties be like, I'm gonna groom you and stuff like that. Then I got over to this woman's house, and I mean, God rest her soul, because she's not here anymore. but that woman's talk like a sailor.
Wow.
And everybody was inward. And I was like,
wow. It's like,
it's the church lady. So
excuse me.
I was like,
like church is over.
So I was like, Mariah's real though. Mariah's real. But I said, okay, let her say it 1-2 times and be on your way.
Yeah.
But it was like everybody and their grandma saying it, and I get people in Harlem use that word.
Yeah, it's not like it's not used.
It's not like used.
We don't have to.
But I just think the people you were messing around with, like, you're dealing with the mafia and you're dealing with organized crime. The worst offense is not saying that word. I'm not even putting on that part. It's just, it's unnecessary because we got people who look at pop culture, and the minute you slip into pop culture, they use it as a license. And then you got to think of the common good of non-black people, sometimes, because they don't you got to save them from themselves. Yeah. And so you can't.
There's a lot of people.
you got to slap the taste out of somebody's mouth because
I remember when Dave Chappelle's show got popular, and like, white folks started feeling good about it.
Feel real good.
They started to feel real good. I had to let a couple of them know. That's the line.
That's the line.
That's the line.
You better enjoy that.
You got your one.
Exactly.
I'm just letting you know this it.
Exactly. It's like you enjoy that on your private time. Then. Yeah. You won't be doing it with
around here.
Nah. It's not a trade-off. It's not a trade-off.
Yeah.
y'all letting Chappelle live and do his thing. It's not a trade-off for you using that word.
Nah.
I don't use that word. You can't use it.
Yeah. It's like, nah,
and that's the assumption too. Is that. I hate this, like, if you see one black person do it, then everybody does it, or everybody's agreeable to it.
Even if they all did, it still doesn't give you a right to.
Cool,
do I like the word? No.
You have to observe that people are individuals, and that there's a big swath of black people who do not use that word, nor do they entertain it, and they don't even entertain it with other black people. So you, by being a non-black person, you're not aware of that. Yeah. They're not aware. That part never gets explained that, yes, there are black people who use it. They use it in a friendly way.
Somebody fought me on it like, it was like, well, what about rappers and what about this and that? I was like, I don't like it when they do it neither.
Exactly. It's like there's certain people, and like the further you go back, there were certain people who use that word, and it's become where you can be like a sort of decent human being, still use it. But the further you go back, that was your gangsters that did that. That's why the rappers use it.
Because they wanted to be cool, and it was cool to be that.
Think about the people they're modeling their music or the things they're talking about. Even if they're not claiming to be gangsters, they're talking about their neighborhoods and the people who are running their neighborhoods, depending on your neighborhood, because not all black neighborhoods are run by gangsters. Yeah. But if you're from Harlem, probably people got the most stacks.
Was probably doing something. They probably weren't selling insurance.
Exactly. If you're from the hood, the people who got the most stacks is not the most stand-up people. The
people that have the most stacks and are cool.
And are cool. That's true.
Because there might be someone who's like
got crazy money.
Yeah, there might be like someone
about them.
Yeah, because he's not cool.
He's not cool.
Or she's not cool enough.
And so that's the thing, that when you introduce you use that word, it's not even introduced, but if you use that word, that's the thing that always gets lost in translation. They don't notice that only certain people use the word.
Yeah. Not all of us are running around like, hey.
Hey, you can't say that anywhere.
What's up?
Because it's a lot like the word a bitch, and it's the same way. You can use that word. So I saw this great video on Instagram where she breaks down all the different ways.
Yeah, but it's like as a guy, just don't use it.
Right.
Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's not a good look. And I know there's dudes that's like, I see women saying, yes, I've been around the hood. I've seen women call each other that, but that's them.
Yeah. Right.
That's
The
their
concept,
relationship.
like you wouldn't
relationship.
Want, like, random white dude to walk up to you and say, hey, man.
Yeah, because that's not our relationship.
Exactly. I don't want some random women walking up to me going,
true.
hey, B,
but at
you
least
gotta have a relationship.
Yeah, but at least
no,
that's
you
at least she's still a woman.
If you walk up to a random woman and call her a B.
Like, what up, my B?
You're like, you gonna have a problem if she about that stuff and about that life. These are not words you can even use randomly. Even if you walk up to like another black dude and say you're a person who uses the N-word, you can't just open it up. Somebody and
you can't open up the conversation.
Exactly with that. I don't know you from Timbuktu and you just call me what?
Like, whoa.
So there's all
especially
that.
in a business setting.
Exactly. There's so much. And even if that's shown, because a lot of times with Luke Cage in particular, when they said the word, it was offense and meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be kind of like
insult,
offensive or insult. Yeah.
You know? I'm calling you out your name kind of situation.
Yeah. And
they don't pick up on that. So I can't help you. If like, even when the word is being used in art, they're making it very clear, like this is a negative, you ain't picking up on that.
This is offensive.
How am I supposed to help you?
This is seen as a bad thing.
You can't pick up on that, and then you got the audacity to be out here in these streets and wonder why you're getting the taste smacked out your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it, but yeah, so I don't know. So it was just different ways. But anyways, internet, right, is a fabulous thing.
And that's fabulous thing.
And the internet allows us to say that because, you know, you might not have access to these people, but you can let them know what's up. So you have a greater voice in the entertainment you're consuming, the things that your politicians are doing. There's nothing like a good Twitter drag. Twitter drag, people.
Internet also gives us an opportunity to see other people's points of view.
Exactly.
Even if they're not logical, at least you can hear them out and see, okay, I see where you're coming from. You're still wrong, but I see where you're coming from. I understand why you believe that, or I understand why you thought that, or why you said that.
There needs to be moderation even with that viewpoint.
True.
I think if you talking, like, I'm not big objectivity for objectivity's sake type person.
True. Yeah.
Like if you saw somebody get the shit beat out of them and you saw it from beginning to start, right? And that person got beat the shit out of them for no reason. Person just jumped up and stuff like the guy.
And then somebody be like, well, what happened before the
thing? So perfect example is what happened with the young 15-year-old in New York.
Oh, yeah.
There's no two sides of that story. You made a mistake, and you not only ended a young person's life, you did so brutally.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear your side of the story.
Yeah,
your side of the story is irrelevant.
Well, we already know your side of the story, and it's wrong.
It's wrong. Like it's still whack.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
We heard your side. It's wrong.
Another side of the story. Okay, two sides of the story. Okay, now your side is whack. Like we can all agree that is whack. I don't care the mistake you did. It ended a youth's life in a horrific way.
Yeah. It's a mistake. It was your fault, and now you have to pay for it.
You need to pay for it.
Even though you didn't mean for it to happen, you still have to pay for that mistake.
So I was like, there might even be two sides of the story, but is the other side of the story complete trash? Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
and you have to be able to discern. If you can't discern when that is, then you need to spend some more time off of the internet just studying your behavior, other people's behavior. Critical thinking is very important.
You know, logic is key. Get your logic game up because people be out here in their feelings.
Because people is hoodwinking folks.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's how I feel. Well, feel and facts and reality are all different things, boo boo.
And I'm able to say I understand why you feel like that.
Yeah,
but that's not actually what's happening.
Acknowledging your feelings.
Like say if something happened to you.
I'm not even here for trash feelings though.
Yeah, but I mean, some people will be like, I feel like this, and I'll be like, I understand why you feel like that, but that's not the issue.
I feel like choking a bitch sometimes for no reason.
But I don't do it.
About that. I give none about your feelings about needing to choke somebody out on the random. Yeah. I mean, people be feeling a lot of ways nowadays, and they're like, but this is how I feel. And I'm like, no, because we have to, I feel like we need to pull the line back on that because being tolerant of intolerance is what has set us up for this slippery slope where people can now come in and try to spit your same, I don't want to use that word.
You posted something up recently about people saying like, "Oh, you can't fight hate with hate." And
no,
this isn't hate.
This isn't hate. It's like gaslighting.
This is justice.
That's
what you're doing is
gaslighting.
hate. Yeah,
exactly.
And
it happens all. That's why I end up posting it, and I made a permanent post on my Instagram, so you can check me out. LaStar I got next. If you want to see that Instagram post. And that's why I made it part of my permanent Instagram, because I said this is happening all the time, and I sit and I feel like I'm a one woman, like this is not how this works. That's not logical.
Yeah.
Me saying I don't like you striking me, or you calling me out my name, or pointing out on your obvious bigotry or racism is not me being bigoted. It's not me being racist.
No.
It's me saying I will not stand for you to mistreat me.
Thank you.
And then you try to flip that around and say, well, you can't be like that. You gotta be more. Why do I need to be understanding of somebody bullying me? Like, that don't make any sense.
If I have any issue with if I have any issue with The Last Jedi, it's that statement from Rose. Rose has a statement to Finn about winning the war, and it's not about fighting what we hate, but saving what we love. I was like, you're using semantics, and you're literally saying the same thing, but you're trying to turn it to sound nice. By fighting what I hate, I in turn save what I love anyway.
Right.
So fighting injustice is not hate. That's one of the things that when I heard that, I was just like,
right. And
but I understand we're in the
commonplace
because now
and I'm just like, I can't.
We're in a place where dumbness is winning. So people that are right have to placate dumb people because they're winning so hard. So now they're gonna be like,
out here. But that's the difference.
Yeah, they are.
They're out here, and I said so what we're talking about, internet alternatives, alternatives to access. It's the same idea. We are not out here. We're not showing up. It's a team sport, people. Democracy is a team sport.
Yep.
If you're sitting on the bench because you think your vote don't count, that doesn't even work. Like, okay, presidential election. You got this old obsolete thing called electoral college. Electoral college. Electoral college. Right. Thank you. And I said that's the only thing that exists on. Where was you at your city government? Where was you at with your state government? That's a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
They get
this
the
November,
most votes.
Well, they already did the primaries, but this November, you know what I'm saying?
You get the most votes, you win. So if you show up and show out, your side wins. There's nothing to override that. But people are like, put their foot out. And I say in California, we don't got no excuse.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people who really got like things they really got to battle. And I get hit with it all the time here in California. Well, I was busy. I had work. I had this. I do think there needs to be voting like a holiday or something like that.
Yeah, because see, voting.
So everybody has time to go.
Yeah, because they've positioned voting in a way to limit voters. They've already done that. We know that by law. Well, it's not by law, but they've set it up on a weekday during work hours, so that they could already limit the turnout.
My voting place stay open till like 9.
Word?
Yeah, or something like that.
Most places I know are closed at like 6, 7.
No.
And it's like
8, 9.
It's like, yo, by the time you get off of work and fight traffic, you might get there at like 6:58.
Now that's the thing what people don't know is that you can vote in other places. You can mail in your vote.
Yeah.
You can vote you can just go to a voting
or do
poll.
What I do, go in the morning and just be like, I'm late. I'm late. I was voting.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Fire me for voting and see how that goes.
Exactly. And I do think there should be other things that make sure that people can maybe shift their schedule.
Yeah.
But you can go into a polling vote with if you have your the pamphlet they tell you where to go to your voting poll and stuff.
Cool.
If you go into the voting poll with that, you can vote with that at any voting poll. So if you can't make it home, it's 2 hours traffic and your place near your house closed at 7. It should be easier. I always want to make it easier, but I also get to the point where there are several options I just went over, like mailing yours in, being proactive and stuff. There's the go to the one that's closest to your work. So there where you could make it easier.
Yeah.
Where are we getting to the point where making it easier and people still not doing it is what my issue is like I feel like I could come almost to your house and
you
say,
still wouldn't
do it because you're like, I'm in the middle of my soaps or something like that.
I
feel very discouraged and stuff because people are like not super realistic about it either.
Well, I want to take it a step further.
What?
When you pay your DMV stuff, that's sign on, that's secured, that's single sign on. So why can't you do an SSL with that for your voting? You sign into your DMV, whatever in your area, just like you pay your property taxes or your car, the tags on your car. Sign into that on that Tuesday or on whatever day it is. In this case, it's the Tuesday. Sign in on that Tuesday, make your vote, log out. That could be done, but they won't, because providing access raises the numbers. If you raise the numbers, I honestly think the turnout for a lot of stuff, or the change politically will be a lot different if you could. Because I mean, why can't you vote online? Of course,
we want more numbers, but we have like historic lows right now.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a blue wave because of all the stuff that's popping off in politics.
Because the pendulum is about to swing,
and nobody and their grandma showed up. So I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm almost.
Or you still don't think that would work either?
I really feel like people just need to get their asses up. Like, get up, get out, and get something, because it's
that neutrality stuff wouldn't be an issue if we was out there. We was out there voting. Like not even protesting, just out there voting.
In every aspect of your life, like you have to protect your laws that govern, business and access and stuff like that. So that, the powers that be, in this case, what I'm talking about is the internet service providers, they can't get in your way. There shouldn't be laws on the books saying who, like your government, your city officials cannot provide people internet access. You have sometimes whole states that you would not think in the United States, but there's whole swaths of the United States that do not have regular access to high-speed internet. Our internet
is large parts.
And then on top of that, people are like, well, if it's private, it'll get innovated more and they'll be
better.
It won't. It won't.
No, it won't. That's already been disproven.
We're like 11th in like our internet. Like South Korea has the best internet because they've made all these improvements. It's faster than ours. It's better than ours.
Yeah.
And so I said, no. It's like, what happens is private companies realize they have a monopoly and they don't got to do nothing.
When private companies have competition, that's when innovation happens. When private companies are able to buy up their competition.
Merging.
Because when the competition comes up,
these mergers are really bad as far as like giving you motivation to say, hey, I'm going to innovate so I can keep my customers. It gets to the point where my customers have nowhere to go. I don't got to do anything.
Like, I mean, look at the competition because we were talking about Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. Instagram started popping. Facebook bought that up fast. There was like, but if we had laws in place, Facebook might not have been able to buy them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We don't really want like I really like that everything you're complaining about Instagram, because there's people who are like, Instagram is their preferred platform. Yeah.
And I think I know why for a lot of people. A lot of people have agreed when I said why, but I think I know why for a lot of people. Because comments aren't a huge thing in Instagram.
It's not.
Like, it's usually just you can comment and you can look for comments, but it's not like Facebook or it's not like Twitter where like the comment is like bam in your face.
The comments is bam in your face.
Like the comments are kind of like negligible in Instagram. They're kind of like a secondary, I guess you could say.
I was always told, and I think the industry, like social media, like I used to do social media, and their reason is that it's not chronological order anymore. That's what people hate.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah. It also makes it harder to build because it doesn't come in. Oh, it's like, let me post this thing on this day because it goes with this app and what's going on. It doesn't show up in your feed like that.
Yeah, you be seeing stuff that's like 2-3 days old.
I've seen stuff that's a week old. I've seen such old posts in my stuff, and so you have no idea of what's currently going on. They were trying to do trending hashtags on Instagram. That didn't
I think that's when they changed it to just allowing you to follow hashtags.
Yeah, exactly. And so you can search hashtags, but you don't get the most current stuff. Nope. And all these changes,
because even recent isn't like the second.
And this is where having open internet works. If you have open internet and a spirit to innovate, keep it free and to innovate, to have more people. Because now a lot of people want to make the next Facebook typey thing, so Facebook will buy it. They don't want to become a competition for Facebook.
They want Facebook to
buy it, and so they can make their millions and walk off into the sunset.
Yeah.
And I said, well, one, not
I
everybody
think that's something
can
that's
do
going to end up dying soon. Like
yeah, exactly. It's
that
going to
whole
saturate.
I made a hot app thing that's
it's
on the
its-
downturn.
yeah,
I think that might be
it's on its
done.
way out. However, if you build another company that has something like, even if you're similar, you're like, well, we can be ethical, because being ethical, I think, I'm glad it's in. It's not a bad thing. It's sad that it had to be an in thing to do. To be ethical and transparent.
Being
it should
ethical
not be a
shouldn't
trend.
be edgy.
It shouldn't be a trend and edgy. But that's what a lot of companies are doing to make themselves stand out, which I applaud.
And also to like pat themselves on the back for doing something they're supposed to do.
Right, that part too.
Oh,
but we ain't
got a show. We ain't got a show.
We're gonna applaud them doing the thing we want them to do, because I also see this a lot online where the people finally do what they're doing, and I get that it took them X amount of years. We can definitely talk about that. And I do not want to give cookies for people who are doing stuff, but I also don't want to tear them down. Again, I want nuance. That's what I'm often going for with everything I'm into, I'm saying. And I was not that person. I think I definitely talked with more generalizations before I became an internet junkie. And then after becoming an internet junkie,
after seeing how bad other people were,
run with it and all the problems it then causes, it just causes more problems.
It's horrible.
And it allows you to also lose arguments, because if you make a very broad statement, then you give yourself a lot of space to just have it picked apart, and the whole point of your statement just gets thrown in the dumpster.
When you have a tight argument, people will try to take you over there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, no, my argument is this.
It's right here.
And they're like, no, what about that? What about that? And you're like, no, I'm trying to stay right here. So then you spin your argument trying to bring people back to your argument.
I have to be honest.
Because I've done that. I've done that before.
I used to do that, and I'd be like, nah. You're moving the goalpost. That's what that's called. That's what that's referring to, because you can't win the argument I'm actually making.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm gonna take that W. Yeah. I'm gonna take a lap. I'm gonna take a victory lap.
Y'all be good.
Yeah, exactly. You be good. Like, don't waste your time arguing with people who want to talk about that over there when you was talking about this right here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, that's a tactic. To say, hey, I can't win that argument. I don't know enough about it.
When they hit you with what about?
Yeah, what about? Oh my God.
I will stop. Whataboutism is a thing, but everything isn't whataboutism.
Yeah, right.
There are things that are related that you can logically say, well, what about this? Or why didn't you say this about this?
Right.
But the problem is that people
what
say,
about
Guatemala? And you'll be like,
what?
We're talking about apple juice.
Exactly. It's just a deflect topic.
You're like, what are we talking about? Mm-hmm. Like, if somebody's like, hey, I don't think basketball should do this because I don't think this should be a foul in basketball. And if someone says, well, what about traveling fouls? Well, that's related because that's in basketball and that is another foul in basketball. That makes sense.
Right.
That is not whataboutism. Yeah. Whataboutism is when you're like, hey, I don't think this should be a personal foul in basketball. And then people will be like, well, in baseball.
All right. You're like, whoa. What that got to do with anything? We're
talking about basketball. But I guess I'll give you points for it still being a sport. Because they might hit you with that Kellyanne Conway where you be like, you started the argument talking about like Flint, Michigan. Mm-hmm. And then when you end it, you're like talking about like whether Pluto is a planet or something. And you're like, hold on, how do we get here?
I don't do that. I try my best not to entertain.
Like, how do we get there?
I try my best not to entertain. I would advise you all not to entertain that.
Don't.
Whataboutism
it's bad.
When goalpost moving, it's just they're gassing you. You're gonna be mad for days because. And I was like, I used to do it before I realized what they were doing. And like, you're literally running around somebody.
Yeah, you're chasing them to bring them back to your argument.
Exactly. And you're doing this. And you're like, well, wait, but I have this great point. Why are you talking about this? What are you doing? And then you did a very bad move I used to do is they would bring up a point. I'd be like, that's stupid because of this. And they're like, well, what about this? And you go, well, no, that's stupid. And eventually you end
up putting out their fires. Instead of
just having the conversation you wanted to have and stuff like that. And they literally distract you, they play you. and you're like, and then I also don't know if they're trolling you or not.
True.
So I was like,
there's that level in there where they're trolling too,
where they're just bouncing and saying like off the wall stuff,
just to
like,
be fun, just to have fun
and watch you scramble, and you're like, wait, this. I'm not getting paid for this. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. So sometimes I'll be midway talking something. I'm like, why am I
even arguing about this?
No.
It's dumb.
This is so dumb.
Yeah.
And they're not interested in having an actual conversation.
True.
They're not. And so sometimes I dismiss people, like especially when I was like doing big accounts and you have like all these people in like your mentions and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, your mentions
get bad.
being ruins, and I was like, nope. And then what I would do is try to save the community. Like I you have like
try to nurture people or something.
Followers, and they all about to get in their beehive mode to drag this person.
It's like, yo, man.
And I'd be like, yo, fam.
Let's chill.
I got this. Y'all
chill.
go and have the rest of your day. May it be blessed and pleasant, because I'm about to make it do what it do with this person. And I say, so I would call out trolls. I was like, nope, this is a troll. This is such a basic argument that no, like if they're not a troll, they need to Google. Like one or the other. You either like willfully ignorant, or you trolling. Either one, I'm not giving you the time. Willfully ignorant to me is like some of this stuff is being discussed over and over and over again. So you come and say, well, I'm late. That's all it was. What's going on again? Explain to me what gravity is again. I'm like, that's why you're not floating, hun. Like, why do we gotta go over it again?
Oh, man.
You know.
Now, I've been late to arguments and stuff, but there are some arguments that are mad
arguments
basic.
that have been done over and over.
Yeah.
So if you're late to that particular one.
Yeah, but you can kind of pick up real quick, like, oh, okay.
Right. If you do a little research and stuff like that, if you follow the tweets, if it's trending, follow the tweet, follow the conversation, because a lot of times people replying to each other. So instead of you showing up 3/4 into a conversation on that's dying
what happened?
What happened exactly? You
read a couple tweets and be like,
go
oh, okay,
up the
I think
tweets, because if you click it, everything that goes beyond or
everything in that thread,
just start following it. Like do a little.
Read a little bit.
But again, it's all this like self-starting, wanting the hunger, having the hunger to have the knowledge, obtain it, do what they can to get it. Everybody wants everything spoon-fed to them, and then get mad because people spoon-feeding them was giving them the wrong, stuff or whatever. Like,
good point.
I wanted mashed potatoes, not applesauce. And you're like, well, you could get your
own
and go feed yourself, but you want me to sit here and spoon feed you stuff and stuff. And I'm here for experts. I'm still here for people who have the time, the passion to dedicate their lives.
But that's not me.
It's a research and stuff like that. And that's not going to be everyone. But I'm saying you would need at least basic understanding to get what that expert is saying. Now, and a spectacular expert is somebody who can put whatever it is that they study or have expertise in. They can speak to anybody.
Yeah.
You tell them where the room is at, what the background's at,
and they can break it down.
They go up or down with it. It's like Neil
deGrasse
Tyson. And, he's like that, where he can talk to his peers.
True.
And then he has shows that talk to everyday people who've never studied this stuff in their lives. And he can do it with authority, and he can do it with stuff that you can then understand hearing him talk. And then should you so desire, and you should, by the way, you shouldn't be beholden or
look
reliant.
Look a little further. And be like, oh, I thought that was cool.
Exactly.
Let me read something on this.
Maybe you didn't quite get the full concept. Go on and take a little time to go on and explore that. Somebody says something to you that makes you question, like, well, is that how that works? Go on and take some little time to research. And I said, literally, that's what I would love to see people do again for themselves. Like, I get you don't have the time to go write a thesis about it.
Yeah, but you can do a quick Google search.
Exactly. You do a little something. And our little something at
search
time.
Google and click news.
Exactly.
And you'll see the newest thing, and you'll be like, oh, okay, cool.
And then you can maybe, when you have the time, you gotta do it all at once.
Yeah.
Some things are more urgent than others, but if you make this, like, if you tell yourself you're gonna be a lifelong learner, because I feel like we need to, because
you gotta learn.
Getting rigid as we get older thing, especially in our current society that's forever changing, and that change is quickening. It happens at a much more.
You're talking about
pace.
like every 2 years or so.
Technology
things
changes,
is like jumping.
and the technology now is ingrained in our everyday culture. There used to be a
and
time
we ain't even at like
where,
quantum computing
exactly. Yet. Technology was over here, and then everyday life was over here, and you had to be so in specialized fields where to even be over here in this sphere. But now they're like this.
Yeah.
People are
now
all
you
talking
need
about
some kind of technical
life
know-how
and culture through the technological lens and stuff and that kind of stuff. So the idea that you're divorcing yourself from like learning when life itself is being controlled by, or greatly influenced, I should say, at this point. I wouldn't want to put controlling out there because people, they jump. They jump. She said controlling. Oh my God!
The sky is falling.
The sky is falling. The machines are here. It's a wrap for humanity. Get into the underground bunker. We're not there yet. So I said, if you don't want to get there, you got to get off the bench. That's all I'm saying. You got to get up and get into it and get into the fray in the way you can. And there's so many ways to get in there. And the internet is so great because you can learn what other people are doing. I've learned about things just being on the internet like all the time.
I've learned how to use programs. I've learned this, learned that, blah, blah.
You learn about new career paths and how to get into those career paths. You can learn any kind of skill on YouTube University, lynda.com and all these fun things.
And without net neutrality,
all that stuff gonna go away. And it's slowly but for surely. And that's the thing that is sneaky, because you brought that up. I was like that slow rollout.
Yeah.
Because they knew if they dropped all that stuff on you tomorrow,
you'd be like
in the streets.
Yeah, that's why it's a good thing we do have some senators fighting back against net neutrality.
Exactly.
Well, now they've repealed it for now.
For now.
There's still, the companies are still trying, but at least for now it's been repealed. Net neutrality is back. It's cool for now.
For now. So, and that's why I got, when it got trashed, and what was that, April? Well, April I think was supposed to officially end, and it got trashed in like January, February, like real early in the year. And I said, well, my thing is like, this is an issue on a loop. Yeah. It all depends.
It's going to get brought up. It's going to get knocked down.
It's like, I said, you could get out of needing this, because they'll say, well, you don't need it because nothing's bad happened. Well, that's probably because
nothing's bad happened because we have it in place.
Well, nothing happened bad before what we put in place because
things were getting ready.
That this was about to happen. Like, why does people always have to be a victim? And what's with that? Like, you have to be a victim
like something
now.
Bad like
you can't see it coming.
We can't use wisdom anymore. We gotta let something bad happen.
Exactly.
And
you gotta go through it. Had to fight all our lives to see that wasn't the move. Why? Why?
People do that. That's a lot. A lot of people today want something bad to happen first.
Before they're like, okay, we need to do this. Like, no,
why are you doing it?
That's not how you engineer cities. That's not how you're supposed to engineer. That's not how you're supposed to build cities. That's not how you're supposed to build planes. If you cannot foresee all the problems planes have,
let's make this car. We don't need a seatbelt. Ain't nobody crashed yet.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And so when things change, so you do go through your discovery period. You try to foresee all the bugs and whatever you're making, and then of course when you run it, there's always going to be things you could not have foreseen.
Yeah, because you were like, I didn't know that happened.
Exactly. This interacts with that, and that happens. Yes, there's always those things. Tech is in science. That is always a thing. However, conventional wisdom, looking at what other people are doing, looking at things that are similar to what you're trying to do.
True.
There's a lot of ways you can go and research and find likely things that will go wrong, and then how to address them so they do not happen. That is why you and I trust our lives year in, year out to planes. If they weren't trying to foresee stuff, it would be bad. Waiting until it happens, not the best idea. A very bad idea.
We've been watching planes go by.
Right, exactly.
Everything cool.
Exactly. But planes are to me a one thing that a lot of people use, and I feel a lot of people can connect to. And I myself get nervous sometimes still when I get on a plane because of the idea, the concept of it.
It's like all right,
metal bird.
We're in a metal tube. flying through
like
the air.
400 miles.
Yeah, super high. I don't know, way high.
Yeah.
All right. Tons of feet in the air.
Yeah.
All right. And just
miles,
going super duper
30
fast.
miles,
It's not like we're going slow and smooth.
Yeah.
No, we going mad fast.
Mad fast, really high. This fall out the sky is a wrap.
Yeah.
I hope you got your life right. And you told the people you loved them before you got on the plane. So, yeah. So I want people to have that foresight. When you look at people doing engineering, you want people to have foresight. Even software, some people make the argument that it's not life and death, like when you're building a building or a bridge or a plane. But at the same time, to save money and resources, you want to try to foresee problems.
Or to save certain security issues.
Exactly. Because once somebody finds one, should they have enough audacity to just like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of this right now while it's hot, you don't want to have yourself in a weird predicament. And it's so much easier to try to foresee something or stop something from happening than to deal with the aftermath.
Dealing with a fire.
Yeah, dealing with the aftermath. Like once you break something, even you're like, hey, like a puzzle. Puzzles are meant to be broken up and put together, but it's easier to preserve that puzzle once you've got it together than should it break apart again. You're going to spend a lot of time and resources. It's much more easier to keep if your whole idea is to witness the picture that puzzle creates. Then it's a lot more easier to put it in a frame, put it in some kind of protective wear, glue it together so it doesn't come. Or don't be disappointed if you didn't do any of those things and then somebody accidentally knocks it off and it breaks up. Now you got to spend another couple of hours or a couple of days, however big it was. My mom was really into puzzles. That's why I'm using that. she get the puzzles with like a bajillion pieces, 1,000-piece puzzles.
Even though I would like to get a huge puzzle piece that's like the size of like a painting, put it all together. I know it'd probably be like a million pieces.
Right.
But then you like glue it together, set it up as like a piece of art and just let it fly.
Right, exactly. But if you don't do those protections, all the effort and time and resources is for naught. And it's much more easier to protect it than to rebuild it or re-put it together again.
Yes.
And I just always be looking at people like that, like, why don't common sense prevail?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just about these internets, and that's something I don't get to talk about. But I am currently writing a podcast about it. So.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, since you have a podcast coming, where can the wonderful people on the internet find you?
Find me. I'm at LaStar.next. I'll be posting about it. I'll probably be doing it on SoundCloud because I'm an Android person. Android represent. I'll eventually put it on iTunes. But yeah, it's going to be coming out sometime this month. So yeah.
Cool, guys. Well, NERDSoul, NERDSoul. Check me out. YouTube, Google, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz, Instagram. Wherever that good stuff is found. And thank you for checking us out, man. It's been a great conversation, but we got to get out of here. And of course, for Rare Air, from us to you, saying peace.
Peace, because it's hot out here. I'm ready.